We finna get into a little NBA talk today. We're gonna go on the block, talk a little NBA and whatnot here with y'all for a little minute. First order of business, I know you might not know, but legend NBA player in the game, Mr. Elgin Baylor. Don't know if you're familiar with that name or not. Passed away today. Hall of Fame player, yep. Lakers legend, all time. Running up chips back in the '60s with Jerry West and Wilt Chamberlain. Big shout out there. But I do got to get another huge shout out to the man CP3.
Oh, yeah.
Last night is only the sixth player in NBA history to pass 10,000 assists.
That's
That's insane, bro. That's a huge number. And I know a lot of people have some mixed feelings about Chris Paul personality-wise, but on the court, man, dude just knows how to win basketball games, distributor. He's cut from that cloth, man, that old school type of basketball, real facilitator, a true
general
guard. Floor general. LeBron calls him a point god. He's the John Stockton, Isaiah Thomas of this generation. 100%. And big shout out to CP3, man. I've said before, I would have liked him, especially at this age, go to a team where I definitely think he can win a chip. The Suns are playing great basketball, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Look real good since he's got there, but he's just been proving this kind of everywhere he goes. He goes to the Houston and they get to the Western Conference Finals, goes to the Oklahoma City Thunder, who nobody thought they had a chance to make any noise. Finds themselves in the playoffs, that boy Lou Dort, and then goes to the Suns, man, who obviously the Suns, at the end stretch of that bubble, got themselves on a nice run. Devin Booker is a primo point scorer in this league, but it just took that one Chris Paul, this floor general guy that's going to get the culture right, get the locker room right, tell guys where they need to be, what they need to do, man. So Chris Paul been doing this for a long time. I think he came out 2004.
That's like nuts, bro. Wow.
Yeah, been around for a minute, man. 36 years old, man. He still looks like he can run up a few more. Big shout out MDM Gaming. What's up, my partner? How you doing? But yeah, man, Chris Paul's been at this for a long time. He's been on some really, really good competitive teams. Just kind of has been seeming to get better with age. I think a lot of people forget, the other 50% of basketball that's not the athleticism part is this mental game. And that's a big credit to guys like LeBron and whatnot, to where you could almost argue that they're better at that part of the game than they are what they can actually physically do. But yeah, Chris Paul's got them Suns moving, man. They're looking hot right now. They're playing great ball. Another big shout out before we really get into the meat of this conversation is this man, LeBron James, suffered himself a little injury.
High ankle sprain, son.
During that game, Chris Paul hit them assists. It was against the Suns, a little high ankle sprain. And my thing with that is we've kind of talked about this before with LeBron James and his Iron Man capabilities. Just, I think his greatest strength has been his durability.
For sure.
And to see, 9 times out of 10, I've seen LeBron, things like that kind of happen to him where he'll have a little nicker bang right here and, kind of just get right back up. And
but I mean, you could say that that's the argument people have been saying for Tom Brady as well. LeBron, Tom Brady, just the GOATs of their sport. They take all this time and they invest money, time, nutrition, all of it back into the body to allow themselves to have that longevity. So to see him actually go down with an injury, that's how you kind of know is for real. Because you're right, like LeBron's not really one to just sit out, take his load management. Like he just doesn't really play that game. Like that's LeBron James. He wants to be in there. He knows his time is limited out there, and he wants to get these accolades, trying to rack up them points, son. So, I mean, I hope it's quick recovery. Doesn't seem to be anything too serious. I mean, the news has been pretty light on it, honestly. For it being a LeBron James injury, it's not like as blown up, I think, as it should be.
No, I mean, he'll probably be back sooner than expected. I do think, though, that he will definitely take some time. I think it'll take probably the week. I mean, it depends. We don't know 100% the severity of what's kind of going on there and whatnot, but, I think he will take some time. Dude has only missed one game the whole year. Man's 36 years old, 18th year in the league.
People sit down on the bench because they're tired.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? He only missed one. Like, that's insane, bro. We're just talking built different, bro.
3 months off of the whole bubble thing, really just got a light vacation and just came right back. Hasn't missed a game. And I know Anthony Davis being out, he wanted to obviously be there and step up and without AD this past week and a half, the Lakers have been kind of figuring it out without him and have been playing really solid ball. And LeBron obviously has been in MVP conversations all year, depending on how long he's out with this injury, if he's still in that conversation or not. But
I think towards the end of this, like when AD and Bron end up coming back, I think this will be really good for the Lakers, honestly, because they're going to figure out how to play without their two biggest stars. So if they can figure it out now without them, when they're back, it's just going to be fire again,
But yeah, my only thing with that is if they don't manage to figure it out, depending,
Oh yeah, they could be back. They could be slugged up a little bit.
We only got 30 games left in the season, and I mean, I know the Lakers are sitting pretty right now, but they could potentially slip out of a position or something. No LeBron or AD. I mean, you're looking at kind of the Cavs roster right there. If you don't have AD, I mean, Dennis Schroeder's nice, Kyle Kuzma's but you know what I'm saying? Team's not really built like that, but. LeBron.
I mean, Alex Caruso, we got Montrezl Harrell out there. I mean, they got pieces, bro. They'll be all right. I mean, we were talking about this all before the season started. Like, you could take away LeBron and AD, and they still got a solid squad for sure.
I don't think it's a playoff team though, for sure. Like, definitely a solid squad, some nice pieces.
There's no way LeBron won't be back with a high ankle sprain when he hears playoffs, dude. Just something ticks in that dude's brain.
Yeah, no, he'll definitely be back. And like I said, depending on where they leave off in the standings or anything like that, he's going to, playoff LeBron is like playoff Tom Brady. It's like, it's a whole different ball game. It's
different animal.
Brand new animal, get fresh reset on everything. But, my thing is right now, something I've been thinking about a little bit is especially teams in the Western Conference that, this is their time to take advantage of that. And I think the biggest one that comes to my mind is the Clippers. I'm sitting here looking at this Clippers situation, and I think what happened a year and a half ago, let's get some out of the way real quick. That 2018 season where Kawhi Leonard was with Toronto, and they was about to run that up. You had Drake all up in the sideline, stuff like that. Like that was an awesome time to be watching basketball, that whole kind of saga. And then the city of Toronto going above and beyond, like trying to get Kawhi to stay. And then,
right.
And then, the summer hits and Kawhi essentially – we heard some crazy stories about him. If he was going to be a part of the Lakers, he wanted like his own private jet, part ownership and all this and whatnot. And I think people don't realize that, Kawhi is that quiet guy and keeps things very cordial, lets his play do the talking. But Kawhi knows what the fuck he's doing. He knows that the perks of being a superstar in the NBA, he knows what he can ask for. Like behind the scenes, he definitely, I don't think he's that cerebral as people think he is. But
definitely got a good agent.
I think it's his uncle. I think at this point, keeping it in family, but
dude's got the Googles on point right now.
Yeah, no, for sure. But, there's this whole thing with him going to the Clippers and essentially Clippers organization moving hell and high water to go ahead and get Paul George, gave up pretty much everything to go get him. And obviously we saw Paul George kind of have a meltdown last year in the playoffs. Kawhi kind of did too, to a degree, that series against Denver. They kind of just let that slip away from him. And I know Paul George had his whole thing about being in the bubble and what that did to the mental and all that jazz. But Kawhi, the Clippers are a team right now that they need to take advantage of this. If Kawhi is built from that cloth, this is the time they need to take advantage. The one thing I have against the Clippers is I get Kawhi does all his talking on the court with his play. And he's a phenomenal player, easily first ballot Hall of Famer, 2 finals.
Oh, yeah.
Phenomenal.
When it's all said and done.
When it's all said and done, he's a Hall of Fame player. But the team just doesn't really have a leader like that. You know what I mean? And Paul George certainly isn't that guy. To me, Paul George is the best Robin in the league for sure. I don't think Paul George is, I know a couple of years, 3-4 years back, he was in that MVP race, but to me, he's just not that. And, the whole saga that was that Clippers offseason and then bringing in and the Kawhi coming into town with whole like the king of LA and all that, a little poking fun at LeBron and whatnot. For the most part, I think the Clippers got the best of them last year in the regular season. I think the Clippers got the roster for it. Ty Lue can coach. That's not been a problem, but they really need to take advantage of this opportunity of the Lakers kind of having this mishap and show that, like, no, we're ready to run up this chip, because I don't feel like people are talking about the Clippers like that anymore.
I agree.
They're
And
playing
we were just
basketball.
talking about the Lakers bench a little bit. I feel like the Clippers, if you take away their two main stars, like on the Lakers, we take away AD and LeBron, we take away Kawhi and Paul George. The Clippers got a better team, I think. Like that bench runs a little bit deeper, I think, and better. I don't know, man. That's just such a good rivalry in basketball. But you're 100% right. Like, people just aren't talking about the Clippers right now at all. I mean,
I don't think they do anything to help themselves. That's, like I said, Kawhi and Paul George. I'm just not a big fan of the leadership qualities. I get what Kawhi is doing. I get the persona he's letting off. But, I want my guy
strong leader.
And I want that LeBron figure, man. That just uplifts so much in a basketball organization. And, so I definitely want to see them step up here in the next little month or two. But, the only other team I'm looking at right now that I think the most pressure is on in the Western Conference is Portland Trailblazers, that is. We're talking about a guy here, superstar Damian Lillard, Dame Time, who could run himself up an MVP conversation this year. Kind of already is, if you ask me. He's in that conversation for sure. Clutchest player in the league, if you ask me.
Without a doubt.
And to me, from an on paper standpoint, a 2K standpoint, the Portland Trailblazers roster to me is stacked just the whole way down. I love the
yeah. If Dame doesn't drop 40, CJ McCollum will.
McCollum will. I like Nurkic, but he just can't stay healthy. We've seen Carmelo in the past couple of years kind of rejuvenate himself and be this great kind of role player in that system. And, my thing with this team is, and I like Terry Stotts too, the head coach. He's definitely proven he can do it. I think, that he just needs a little bit more. I don't know if he's not, he's good. He's all right. They can win games. He's a good coach, but he's not no Phil Jackson or Greg Pop, Doc Rivers. He's, they got to have that dog in him. And I know the players do. I know Damian Lillard has that dog in him, but, something about this team, I really think the Portland Trailblazers, I would like them against Denver. I would like them against not Houston, but Utah. I mean, I really, really like Portland's roster. I love me some Damian Lillard. And to me, I think this is the year they could potentially do it. Just take advantage of it, man. I know Damian Lillard has been loyal to the city of Portland, maybe for better or worse at points in his career. They've always had a good team, and he gets better, it seems like, every year. But
just too loyal, bro. And I say this all the time, and where I'm going to bring it back to, but that man Steph Curry, bro. Imagine if he would just hop around and try to get himself some chips instead of be like that loyal Jedi. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could just be running it up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Same conversation for Dame. I mean, he's just happy where he is. I mean, I love a franchise player. I respect that a lot.
Too. At the end of the day, I love that. I want players. I want more players like that, especially.
But we're just talking self-interest, though. I mean, you got to know that there's more out there for you.
Yeah, but see, I think that can just turn into I think that a dangerous conversation, though. Players just switching up. Like, I was the biggest fan of what Giannis did this offseason. It was like, no, I'm staying. If I'm going to win a chip, I'm going to win it here. I need you guys to bring me the pieces, especially like the Milwaukees and the Portlands, these small market organizations, to where, without a Dame Lillard, without a Giannis, I mean, no one's watching those games.
Facts.
You barely watch them as it is. Those teams need those players. And for guys like Damian Lillard that want to stay a part of that organization, people in Portland love him. Dude's a walking legend. I just want to see. I mean, I think this is going to be the one year where I think Damian Lillard knows, personally, accolades wide, has a chance to get himself an MVP. I think the Portland, if Yusuf Nurkic can stay healthy, especially throughout the playoffs, I think they have a great chance. Obviously, I still have the Lakers being the favorites in that or in that division, or in that conference, but I do like the Trailblazers.
All of that, bro.
One umbrella, the NBA in general. I like them to get there.
Yeah.
And obviously there's other good teams in the West, but I really think Portland and Utah. And I don't know about Utah, man. That's still an iffy one for me. I love the product that Utah puts on the floor every night. Yeah. I think they're just one of those synergy teams to where obviously Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert are phenomenal players, but I think, they just remind me of like that '04 Pistons, to where like Donovan Mitchell's got a little Chauncey Billups to him, or he's got the swag and the superstar. But other than that, it's just really about the coaching and just the scheme and, how they work as a group of guys. And, I don't know. Do we think they can win a finals though this year?
I don't know if they can win a playoff series, bro.
That's facts.
Like, honestly, I mean, it comes down to those 4 teams in the West, but let's switch it up. Let's switch it over and look over on that East side. I mean, I'm riding high on Philly still, bro. I mean, how are they just not clear-cut favorites on the East? Who else you got up there?
You just got a tight one.
I mean, Nets for sure. Can't disregard the Nets at all.
Hey, Blake Griffin last night, dude.
He proved us so wrong, brother. We were talking about he's not gonna be too big a splash, and he just went out there and did the damn thing. Shout out Blake Griffin, dude. I love seeing that.
Yeah, and like I said too, because I still do like Philly. They just got a real good win, real close win over the Knicks.
Ben Simmons has never lost to the Knicks.
14-0, dude. King of New York. Isn't that crazy, bro? And like, man, I like me some Ben Simmons, but come on, like. That was like 101 to 100. So I mean, it was
a good game. It was a great game.
But if I'm looking at the Eastern Conference as a potential Sixers Nets matchup, and like I said, the only problem I see with the Nets is potentially who's going to stop Joel Embiid.
Yeah, Andre Jordan is going to try.
My thing is, I look at the Philadelphia 76ers, and I'm like, I don't know who's going to stop those 4 players. Ben Simmons is a phenomenal defensive player. He can lock maybe.
He could take one of them.
You're not stopping Harden. You can maybe slow him down a little bit.
You could say the same thing about KD and Kyrie as well, though. You're 100% right.
You're not going to stop them.
Yeah.
And so, sure. Especially maybe you have Blake Griffin, who can go get you a cool 20 a night.
Couple rebounds, couple boards on there. Yeah, no, Philly's gonna have to score to keep up in that matchup for sure. But I mean, you could say the same thing about Philly. Like, I mean, who's stopping them?
Yeah, I just if it came down to offense, I mean, I think the Nets outscore the Sixers all day.
For sure. Oh, we're talking pure offense, dude. I mean, we're talking 3 of the greatest scorers on one team.
One
team. Like, that's just filthy.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking Joe Harris in the cut, bro. Just sit in the corner, a couple splashes. The dude, I don't remember his name, bro. He's like the 2-guard, lockdown D guy. I can't remember his name. It's like Brown or something like that. But, he's a pretty good defensive little player. But, I mean, for right now, I think those are 2 clear-cut favorites. Obviously, as long as the Bucks got Giannis, they're going to be in the playoffs. And I feel like people aren't really talking about him as much either right now, but he's kind of having himself a quieter year. But
for sure. I mean, and just other teams, I mean, just looking at rankings here, but as well as just like off the dome. I mean,
Atlanta's hot right now.
Yep, the Hawks and the Heat are up there in that conversation, bro.
And I like Atlanta too. Atlanta's in a lot of talks right now about potential trades. There's some rumors going around today about the Celtics really wanting John Collins. The Hawks potentially. The Hawks, I guess, really want themselves Jaylen Brown.
Wow.
I was looking at John Collins and Bogdanovich for Jaylen Brown, maybe a pick or 2 here there. But I mean, that'd be great. But I know the big rumor swirling around Atlanta right now is what's going to happen with John Collins. Is he's came out and said he's unhappy, he feels like he's underpaid and whatnot. And for a guy that's like 18-8 a night, I think he's worthy of getting a payday. I think he's a really solid, nice player. But I do think they should hold on to him for this year. He's a restricted free agent. They'll be able to match whatever offer gets thrown at him. And I think to me, it seems like him and like Trae Young, especially, have kind of been able to work out their differences, and they've been playing some solid ball. I mean, they're red hot right now. The Heat's another one. You said that they're starting to finally come around. Now, my thing with the Heat is I do like the Heat a lot, but Jimmy Butler's not on that court. That is not a good basketball team.
No, I agree. They're just still dummy young. I mean, this is the same. Every time we talk about the Heat, we hit this point. It's like, yeah, they did make that finals run in the bubble, but they're just so young. They need so much more experience.
Yeah, no, they do. I like the Heroes and the Robinsons. Bam.
Neutron, son.
Yeah, I did hear too that the Heat are super, super interested in that boy Kyle Lowry from Toronto, but
okay,
just Yeah,
I mean, that would be great for them. Nice little floor facilitator right there. I mean,
then there's your experience. The only thing is, you're probably going to have to give up a Tyler Hero and a Duncan Robinson. You're probably going to have to give up some pieces for Kyle Lowry, as you should. Kyle Lowry's great player. But I do think that would help. I mean, obviously Jimmy Butler is the glue to that team. And I know the thing today is that we made a video like a week ago or something about some trade deadline moves. I mean, Aaron Gordon has officially requested a trade out of Orlando. I know teams like the Hawks, for one, were interested in the Boston.
That's a great fit, bro.
I think Boston would be a great fit too, just because they need that 4-5. They kind of run a small ball lineup. I think between Kemba and Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, definitely they need to figure out that 4-5 spot. I like me some Daniel Tice too, but he's not really good.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
He's solid. He's a solid little player, can do some things, but I think they do need back that when they were at their best is when they had Al Horford. Al Horford great for that system, a guy that's can shoot as the big man and kind of play that role. And I don't know if Aaron Gordon necessarily does that all the way, but I think that'd be a nice fit for him. Nice guy you could fit in at the 3 or 4. I think that you should have Jason Tatum at the 4 and kind of roll like that. But I don't know. I mean, the Eastern Conference to me is kind of set. I like Boston. I like Milwaukee. And obviously, the Hawks, these are playoff teams we're talking about. These are good teams. They're not saying they're trash. But as far as a finals, someone getting out to the finals, man, to me, it's looking like the Sixers or the Nets. It's to me, if the Nets weren't the Nets right now, 100% the Sixers. I would say this is their year for sure. But just, man, I look at that fucking 3-headed Cerberus snake that fucking Brooklyn's got, dude. Like that's gonna be hard to beat, man. All I know is like my boy's gonna get in this year, whether it's the 7th, 8th, whatever it is.
No, they should definitely make it.
We're playing some good ball. Do want to give it, shout out right here. That boy LaMelo Ball got himself a little injury too. He's going to be out for the rest of the season, man. And I saw some things where is this like a Zion thing last year where he could still end the year with a rookie of the year. And to me, there's no way you miss 30 games and you can still hold on to that. I mean, I think we're going to go ahead and have.
But at this point, though, one of these other rookies is going to have to start lighting it up.
Anthony Edwards.
Because the season ended right now. He beats Anthony Edwards out all day.
Oh, all day. But, I mean, at the same time, I don't think there's anybody else in that conversation. It was Anthony Edwards. It was LaMelo Ball. There's a couple other – we made our video. I like James Wiseman, a couple other guys.
Yeah, I think there is solid rookies for sure, but we're talking rookie MVP. I mean, LaMelo Ball all the way. I mean, and Edwards, he's going to have to perform while LaMelo's out for sure to be brought into that conversation. But, I mean, I don't know. I think LaMelo can get it with the injury. If he doesn't play anymore, like –
there's no way.
He just deserves it, bro.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Because I mean, here's my thing with Charlotte. Charlotte's been a complete dumpster fire for as long as I can remember.
Forever, dog.
Michael Jordan just kind of fumbled the bag on drafting players and all that, but
he just wanted a team, bro. He's like, they're cheap.
Well, I mean, it's where he played college and all. He's from there, and that's his home squad. And I mean, they finally got one right with LaMelo. I know it took LaMelo a little month to get himself the final starting gig, but once he got in there, man, I think he's averaging 26 and 6.
Earned his spot, without a doubt.
I mean, dude's flashy. He's got, for being how young he is, the mentality. I've said before, you watch a couple of interviews with him, he seems to be on point.
He's got that mentality of a professional player. I mean, he was playing over in Lithuania or wherever. I mean, he's played semi-pro ball, so it's kind of just natural for him to just step into the limelight like that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, he's solid, and I like they got some young guys too. Gordon Hayward's averaging himself a cool 20. I like PJ Washington. I like Miles Bridges. Malik Monk been coming out the cut sometimes, dropping some buckets, and I do like the future for Charlotte potentially if maybe they could hit on one more draft. I know they're super interested in Miles Turner from Indiana, potentially, which I think would be great. Charlotte has been dying for a center for the past 10 years. They've been dealing with Bismack Biyombo and fucking Cody Zeller, who I like, but if they could really lock down on a solid 5, I think that would be a stud team. But LaMelo Ball is about to be the truth, man. He's going to be a solid little player in this league for a minute if he can stay healthy. Hopefully he isn't out of the season. I love watching him play.
Do you know what the injury is? I didn't see anything on
There's
it.
a wrist fracture. He fucked the whole joint up. So definitely tore a bunch of ligaments up and whatnot. It's going to have
Was it shooting hand?
Don't.
I don't know. We'll look it up. We'll hit the boys up with that. But yeah, hopefully he can recover soon, dude. Hate seeing that, especially from such a promising young star like that. Like,
for sure. But I mean, he'll come back. We saw the same thing with Zion last year, where Zion's been just a fucking gorilla out there, dude. Eating, bro, just eating up, getting bored. Young Charles Barkley in the cut. But yeah, man, we got a lot more NBA. I mean, 30 games left. Trade deadline is about to be coming up here soon. Going to see some players on the moves. Might have to make a little part 2, some trade deadline predictions and whatnot. But I don't know. We got anything else for the boys and the girls, Richie?
That's about all we got for them, son.
That being said, Salami Squad, get the fuck out of here, dude.
Perfect.